Why, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. This is Otaku Shobo. Today is in fact Tuesday, February 21st, 2023. How is the audio today by my voice? Is it too loud or cracky or poppy? Is anything happening to it? Because I noticed right before I started streaming it was not like picking up my voice immediately on the little mixer pane on Streamlabs. So I like moved some wires around, fiddled a little bit on dials, and it looks okay to me now. It's just potentially slightly too high. Let me know if it is slightly too high. I can bring it down ever so slightly. That should be a little bit better. There we go. So, hi. We had a weekend between the streams. I hear a dolly behind me meowing. What happened? What happened over the weekend? Not too awfully much, frankly. At least not with Factorio. Let's just say that I find the process of making Vanadium at this phase of the game to be quite tedious. As a bit of an understatement, I find it to be quite tedious. So, yeah. I worked on it slowly over the weekend to get to a point where I should have enough to get into that 1 chemical science per second that I will need in the end, as well as the 1 circuit per second that I desire, 1 circuit 2 per second that I desire at this point. With that said, Friday is going to be the release of Kerbal Space Program 2 into early access. I want to know, do you, in fact, want to see me stream Kerbal Space Program 2 on launch day? Because as it turns out, it is releasing for sale approximately 1 hour before I would normally start a stream on that day. So, you want me to stream it? I can stream it on Friday. I won't stream it every Friday, but for launch day, we can stream it along with, probably everyone else in the phase of existence streaming it on Friday, but whatever. I have been looking forward to Kerbal Space Program 2 for quite some time. I am just a bit concerned about the system requirements for Kerbal Space Program 2. Meow, Ollie, why are you crying? There's the big boy. Oh yeah, by the way, I don't have the camera up on the thingy today. Camera's back to its old location for the kitties when they show up. Ollie's playful right now. So, I'm a little bit concerned about some of the system requirements, specifically graphics requirements for Kerbal Space Program 2. The store page minimum requirements are actually more they're less stringent than what had initially been posted, because previously I've seen that they posted a minimum requirement of 2000 series RTX cards, like 2060s, but now on the store page it's listing the minimum as, oh no, they've added additional options. So they say 2060 with 6 gigs of VRAM or 1070 Ti with 8 as minimum. I have a 1080 Ti with 11 gigs of VRAM. So I sorta just barely meet the minimum requirements on KSP2 for graphics. Yeah, I definitely have system memory. I have 32 gigs of system memory, and I definitely have the processor for it. It's just the graphics that would be a concern. I don't think I'll be able to run it on maximum settings. That's for certain, because they are recommending 3080s or the Radeon RX 6800 XT. Anyway, I don't have like over $1,000 to spend on a graphics card right now unless someone wants to be incredibly generous. So just bearing in mind, we will probably not be running it at max settings when we play KSP2 on Friday. If we play KSP2 on Friday, I do want to see some engagement with a community post that I have made with a poll asking, hey, do you actually want to see me stream on Friday? I don't want to go start a stream of KSP2 on Friday and have a total of 0 viewers on that day. So you'll need to let me know. You'll need to vote on the thing whether or not you want to see that on that day. But what I will also say is that if people show up on Friday, if we stream, and if I am enjoying the experience of the game and would like to continue streaming it, we would continue streaming it on Sundays at our usual streaming time. A while back, I used to regularly stream on Sundays. Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday was a stream schedule for a while. So we'll end up just going back to what was a usual stream schedule, but in this case, we'd be playing a different game than we would otherwise be playing on Sundays. We would be playing KSP2 on Sundays with our Factorio PyAE playthrough on the Tuesday and Thursday. But I guess it will all depend entirely upon how many people show up and watch the thing now, doesn't it? If I get like 40, 50 people on a regular basis, well, then I might have to consider playing that game more than Factorio. But we shall see about that. I have my doubts. Anyway, Factorio. PyAE mods. When we last met, what did we do? We set up silicon wafers as well as etching solution and zinc acetate. I'm pretty sure we finished the zinc acetate. I think so. Not the correct window. I need to hit Shift O now because I changed my key binding for this. I do have zinc acetate. Hello, zinc acetate. I did not put it onto the train physically. So let's go and start off by physically putting this stuff onto the train. That'll be a good step one. Should I stack it? I think the answer for now is no. Because when I will need more significant amounts more than this, I will have access to beacon and module shenaniganery, which is going to necessitate rebuilding every factory in the entire base across the board. So if that's going to be the case, and I decide that then I will stack the zinc acetate, I will at that point already have an excuse to go to any factories that are requesting zinc acetate to add the belt boxes to unstack at their locations. So we did that. We got the etching solution. The etching solution is on the train network, and we have silicon wafers. What is left to get into circuit 2s? We need Cermit, and we need... Okay, you're already set to automatic. Have I set a thingy? Yes, I have. Good. We need Cermit, and we need to set up the doped silicons, the actual production of doped silicons, getting everything brought together for that. And I need to set up the antimony pulp 2, which means getting antimony onto a train, and that's going to be the easy part, I think. I'm uncertain if I'm carrying... Am I carrying any of these? I am. So we can do that now. I just have to decide where exactly I'm going to do that. Well, there's just enough space to put that there, so I'm going to put that there. So what did I do between streams? Between streams, as I had mentioned, I focused on scaling up my vanadium pentoxide. To that end, I have built this. I sort of did this going into last stream, at least for the infrastructure side of things. It's limited by my train's ability to bring tailings down at the moment, but that just involves adding more trains. I definitely have the production of the tailings to support everything in here. But between these two areas now, between these two spots, I now should have... Game. Thank you. It was probably spawning in resources patches for a little bit there. So it makes more than I need. What I ended up doing with that is I have set up here a stone wool factory. This stone wool factory takes in stone, a bit of it, just a little bit of stone. Cough, cough, 150 units per second of stone. And it makes 15 per second of stone wool. Yep, that's what it does. Makes 15 per second of stone wool. And then up here I have a separate Zippier factory. This isn't just a Zippier factory. This is a 1.5 per second Zippier factory. 1.5. And it's all being slaughtered. So the whole point here is that all of these Zippiers are being slaughtered into meat, skin, lard, guts, brains, and arthropod blood. So all of that arthropod blood is being put onto the train network, and I am importing... Meow. I am importing! Hello, Dolly. Hello, baby. That's the doll. Hi, where you going? Where you going, Dolly? How you doing? There's the baby. Hi. Hello. Hello, doll. Tail's flicking? Tail is flicking. Hi. Yes, baby. Yeah. Yes, get those pets. Gotta get those pets. Gotta get that focus. Yes. Yes, baby. Where you going? Oh, you're gonna settle here. You're gonna settle right here. Yes, that's a good spot for Dolly. That's a good spot for the dolly. Yes. That's the baby. We'll see how long that lasts. So yeah, that's the zip here. It's making things, I think. Oh, I didn't... Well, you know, it would help if, I were to actually hook up all of these lines. That would most definitely help. Yeah, rather than having just one, it would be nice to have all three of these lines moving. Yeah, that would be great. And of course, she is now on the chair. Hi, Miss Chirper. Chirpin. Yeah. So, I now have more skin available, I have more lard available, more guts available, more brains and more meat available, and I have arthropod blood. This would explain a lot, by the way, having these two not working. That explains a lot about what was going on at my vanadium. Anyway, that's that. It took a while to set all that up. Just my brain not wanting to do it was a big factor in how long it took, but I did it anyway. There's just some things in this game that my brain is like, I really do not want to do this, and that was one of them. Anyway, we are going to mine antimony. Which is going to mean I will need to import some fuel here. I don't know what I have available for fuel, but we're just gonna go with gasoline. This is going to supply. Do we have gas? Yes, we do. Thank goodness. We're going to bring this line up. Try to avoid all this native flora. And get into mining antimony. Now, normally I would set this up to mine a full 75 per second of the antimony. So let me find where I'm doing that. And I can see, oh hey, we've got... we have a setup that looks a little funky for whatever reason. I've got... I do have an idea why I set it up this way. They are sharing input belts. Okay. Sure. Fine. Be that way. I'm gonna go right here, click that button. Click that button. That's 4. I need 1 more. Excuse me, game. Get rid of that. Thank you. Oh, do I not have enough? Oh. It would appear as if I'm not actually requesting antimony mines. Oh well. Gotta go back. Gotta go back and restock then. So what's each of these 14 mines? Yeah, that's going to be a yellow belt of throughput each times 5, 75 items per second ultimately, or a fully compressed 15 per second on the stuffs. you here. Get out of the way of those gasoline trains. Head on back over so I can actually get those mines. That would be great. Mines would be great to have. Radar coverage for you. And I have to get the setup going on the gasoline. Let me look at Helmod here, which should allow me to put in the values from the antimony drills. And I can set that to gasoline. Well, it's going to be the same number of buildings regardless, because all canisters are the same fuel value. The difference is just how much stuff gets consumed when making the canisters. So it's still going to be 2.05 canisters. It's just that it's going to be 18.41 gasoline as opposed to a lot more of that on many of the other fuel types that have lower than 1.2 megajoule fuel value. So we see that this is one entire barreling machine required for this. Just this massive building count here, right? Whole of one. I am going to need gas canisters. I have some. I would like to actually have a request in for like 2,000 of the suckers, at least. Each line is 200. So by putting in that request for 2,000, that's going to be 10 inventory lines of the empty fuel canisters. Right. I don't think I've mentioned yet. So I did that stuff with the vanadium. I've also did stuff with the cobalt extract. I also did some cobalt extract. I never remember where my cobalt extract is. Where is my cobalt extract? It's here. No, I did mention this. Right? Because I had this discussion last time about needing to change this. I haven't updated this to actually process blood into urea. Right, I need to add blood into urea to help even more of the more offsetting here on this cyanic production. Yeah, we already talked about that. I just remembered, hey, you did that thing. Oh yeah, I didn't do this thing. I'll need to do this thing soon. And by doing this thing, I mean scaling this thing into the absolute stratosphere. This is the rare earth oxide production. I will need at least a yellow belt. Oh, I did scale phytoplankton. That was the other thing that I did. In making extra Zipier, I needed to make another at least 140.7 phytoplankton to support that Zipier production, or at least the eggs for the Zipier production. So I went and I added 200 down here. Cough, cough. I added 200 ish. At least it had better be fully working down here. That's 300 more phytoplankton farms. At the moment, yes, I still only have access to the grade 1 tin recipe. That is not a particularly efficient recipe, because you have to make that grade 1 tin and then spend it in a whole bunch of these. Meow. Oh, big boy. Big Ollie. Hello, Ollie. How's that big boy? Oh, big Ollie. Oh, he's so heavy. He's a heavy boy. Yes, he is. He's heavy. Heavy, heavy. He's, significantly heavier than her. It's almost like he's double kitty compared to the dolly. Do we have the stuff here? We have 57. How many do we need down here? I know we need 69, but that fully depends on how many I was carrying to begin with. Where were we? Where were we here? 14, 20, 6, 8, 28, 32, 39, 41. Okay, we have enough. We have enough. Let's go. Let's go and let's get to it. So, looking at the plans. Once I set this up, we're actually going to just take a slight detour and make Cermit. What was the plan here? The plan was I thought I would need to scale the lard, but as it turns out, I now have an additional 4.5. I happen to have about 4.5 more lard per second coming in off of this Zippier line for the arthropod blood, so I shouldn't need a trit setup. Oh, you know what? I know what I've done here, I think. So when we did photophores on the production of the optical fiber, I set up slaughtering of trits. What I have done with the trits is I have converted all of the products that I can from the trits into lard. So I actually have already done this bottom part. This whole thing is done already. I just have to do this top part to make Cermit. So that's our next factory, is this Cermit factory. I don't think I have the production of Nextlit to fully support this. I will need to check. If I only have 3 total Nextlit plates, that's a slight problem. Ever so slight problem there. I will need more than 3 if 2.5 is going to get used on Cermits, or 2.4 is going to get used on Cermits because of this method of doing the lubricant. Once I finish this factory, we're then going to move on into this factory, and frankly, this is the factory. I do need to break down these inductors and high power resistors and ceramic capacitors. I need to set the vacuum recipe to get rid of it from the list. Do I have a phenol factory? I don't remember. I think so? I do not have a specific phenol factory. I could have sworn I was making it. But there you go. There's that. You know what? I wasn't making it, I think, but I was considering it. I think I was looking into it rather than having made it. Looking into it for melamine. Right, I was looking into the phenol for plastic scaling through this recipe set, because this isn't awful. It's expensive, but it isn't awful. There's my baby boy. Yes, that's the baby, Ollie. Yes, you're a baby. You're a baby even though you're like almost 3 years old now. You're almost 3. Can you believe it? The cats, the kitties, they're almost 3 years old now. Yeah. They turn 3 on March 15th. Less than a month away. Less than a month away from the kitty's birthday. Yeah, you're moving the camera. You got your paw on the camera. Get that paw off the camera, big boy. We still need to get them a new cat tree, by the way. We never did do that last year. We were thinking about it, doing it last year, but it never ended up happening. Yeah, you got your baby. You got your wet. It's not too wet, but it is wet. Your wet bug. Wet bug? Huh? Yeah, you're looking. You're looking. You want to go? Want to go chasing? You're looking. Hey, Ollie. Ollie, you wanna go get it? You wanna go get it? Go get it. Off he runs. Makes the whole freaking table shake in the process. Okay, yeah, let's work. Let's get to it. So yeah, the idea today is that we are at bare minimum going to start building the factory that will be the Circuit 2 factory. And yeah, it's going to be a few thingies, isn't it? Yeah, gonna be just a few thingies. Do I need to break any of these down further? I need to break down the boric acid further. I need to break down the lime. Limestone. I need to break down the antimony chain. You brought it back. Yeah, you want to go get it? Go get it. Off he runs. What now? Matrix solver? Oh, there's probably something in here that's using iron oxide or stone, and that is effing up the numbers on this. So I'll just have to move all of that phase to another thingy. God, you're still gonna tie to the stone? Screw you. Just straight up, screw you, game. Wait, what even requires... No, it's not the stone, it's the iron oxide. So let me... Let me find the iron oxide and just like put the recipe in on making iron oxide. Where are you? Hello, here, that, go away, please, and happen before that one. That way I actually get proper numbers now. Matrix solve. That's better. That's better. Ugh. Alright, anything else? Acetic acid needs to be broken down, because I'm not providing that onto the train network. What now? I already have it. What? I already have it. Why did you tell me I needed it when I already have it? It's like, oh, you need 16 acetic acid. I'm making 16 acetic acid. Are you crazy? I need the hydrogen peroxide. I need the fish oil. I have fish oil provided onto the train network. I need 2 powder quartz from crushed from ore. And I think, oh, fiber board needs to be broken down. I know this is a lot of steps, but it is absolutely going to be in a singular factory. Graphite breaks down biomass from tar. Really? Zinc chloride? What needs zinc chloride in here? Why do I need zinc chloride for bakelite? Okay. Yet another thing. Chlorine. I'm gonna just make it out of guts. I don't care anymore. Not in this particular instance. And that should... We're almost there. I need to make that pure sand local. I need to set this to stacked coke or something, or just coke, whatever, something I already have on the list. That way it's not taking up an extra step. Put down water supply. What do we have? We have ethylene in here. Ethylene will be made. Oh, we could bioreactor from Yotoi fruit, but that's a significant amount to use. The alternative uses more iron oxide, which I'm not a particular fan of. Or it's BTX with Nexalit, and I'm not going to do that. So we're going to use the aloe for that, since I have a yellow belt of the aloe fruit being provided onto the train network already. Need to break down the copper cable and the tinned cable. And the formaldehyde. And I think... we've just about covered it. You love the biomass from Kickalk? It's 1 to 60? Biomass from Kickalk. Four into 280. Yeah, I think that's actually pretty decent. Since I need Kickalk here anyway, that actually saves... that saves an entire input. I won't need to bring in tar anymore. Now, I think I've broken down everything that I need here. Ammonia. We need ammonia. Are we bringing in urea yet? No. But that's our only option, so there we go. We're going to bring in urea instead of ammonia. Okay, now I think everything that is on this input list is an item that is on my train network. Not the diborane. Lasai diborane is from borax. I have the borax. I will need to make the hydrogen. At least that means I won't need to bring in the oxygen. Now, it's all broken down to the most base forms of these items that I know that I have on my train network. Okay? There's a few of them. As you can probably tell, there's a few of these inputs here. As Ollie has left now. So we're at 9, 18. What are we at? We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 9 plus 4. $49. $49 inputs. Well, we better get ready for those 49 inputs. This is why I was saying that today is the start of this build. I don't think that I will get to it today. I will finish it today. I don't think that it's going to be something that will be finished on this day. We will build the train station. I don't even know if I can fit 49 train stations in one of my squares on a single line. I don't even think that that's possible. How many do I have in the mall? Across 2. So the mall is 90. 49 is that big. It looks like the answer is I will not be able to fit 49 with normal station spacing. With the usual station spacing, it will not hit 49. So I will likely have to do a station on each side of a square and sandwich the entire factory in the middle. In the alternative, we do it across a line. Basically, get rid of a center and use 2 squares. Now, because of the number of steps in here, keeping in mind we have to do this entire scroll bar. We sort of have to do this entire scroll bar of stuff and these 4 steps. This is a rather significant number of steps of these factories in here. I think we're going to have to do this across 2 squares for the infrastructure part of it. And the infrastructure part of it will be bigger than the train station, I would think. So I just need to find 2 squares to use for this. And I will probably get rid of the, like, rail in between them. Like with my mall area here, where I've decided not to run that one or that one. Okay, that is that decided. What in the world have we here? Okay, that looks good. This one is not. There we go. So this should all be the empty gas cans coming out. I'm gonna put this here just so I can see the freaking stuff going on. Let there be gas cans. Where are the gas cans? Gas cans! There you are. Hello. Glorious, beautiful, wonderful gas cans. Alright, power. We need power for all the inserters in here. And then all of this. That should do it. Down we go. Right. Right, I forgot about that. I forgot I did that. Ahem. I present to you stacked antimony ore. AKA stacked superconductors. I think that's the superconductor icon. aka stacked superconductors. Right. Ahem. So stacking for pyandons does not currently have antimony or stacking, and I found that to be necessary. That is a thing that is notably missing that needs to exist. So I made it exist in the quickest and dirtiest way possible. Huzzah. Supply depot, full cargo, circuit condition, auto, magic and go. Be free. Yes, over time, this will become a fully compressed belt. I just need to get the fuel fully provided everywhere. Since this is going to consume like 2.1 of the canisters every second, up to that much, what will happen, since the machine operates at 2.5, is that it will take quite some time for everything to accrue here. Okay, that being said, Cermit factory. I don't know if I have olefin plants on me. Let's go ahead and just switch to Kickalk on this. I just need to remember where Kickalk lives in the list. So 0.12 Kickalk. Bearing in mind that a Kickalk factory looks a little bit like this, to make 15 per second in total. Just bearing in mind that every 15 Kickalk uses about that much space right now. I will say that I could make Mark II Kickalk, and that would cut it in half. Producing Mark II Kickalk is extremely easy to start the production. And then the breeding, unfortunately the actual continuous breeding is a little bit more expensive. Just in terms of like Flutech PP6 needing to make that local. In terms of module production, I would want to do like 1 per second of the stuff net. Net. And you can see how bad of a ratio it is. But yeah, if I net out, if I have ultimately the Mark IIs in these buildings, it's only 20 buildings. It's only 20 buildings. It is a fast recipe at the very least, but it is rather expensive. I'm only making like 15 total lamps in the entire base, and I need a bit more than that. Still though, that Flutech is a problem because that's cobalt extract and a whole bunch of other stuff and a decalin. Yeah. See, that's part of the issue here. The CO2 is like free because it's biomass. And we can get that from Kickalk. Hey, wouldn't you know it? Yeah, so So to get 1 per second, bearing in mind that we would need that level of production when we're talking about replacing a factory that is several hundred buildings. 518 buildings will have, but it's 25 modules per building. So even at the 200 and whatever, 259, the way that it works out, it'll be +1 onto that, so 260 buildings that it would end up being. That's 260 times 25 modules, or 6,500 modules. And here we can sort of see that. I think it should have it. Plus half plus 1 to 260. It's 278. Oh god, it's even worse. $6,950 Mark II modules to fill it. On this recipe, I do have access to other recipes. I need to make this perfectly clear. I do have access to a lamp, an ash, and fertilizer recipe that would be a significantly smaller build, but the build would no longer be free. It would no longer be free. Yeah, that would be the ultimate downside. If I had Mark II with that recipe, that's 90 buildings. But yeah, not free anymore. It would cost materials in lamps, and even though fertilizer is significantly easier than it used to be to make, it's still a significant part of my production of the fertilizer. So yeah, that's the thing. I would want something like this. It nets 15, and it's a good ratio. You need as much as you produce for seeds. Anyhoozle, stuff things, factory. We're making Cermit next. Good ol' Cermit must happen. I will do this Cermit factory here. There is some amount of water in the way. I want to get rid of as much of that as I can. These are the types of things that I will tend to work on between streams on my own, if I feel like it. If and when I feel like it. I would rather not to do these things on stream. That applies to essentially every upgrade for modules. Every Mark II module upgrade I don't really plan on doing together. Even though I should, but still, I find all of them to be relatively tedious. I find them all tedious and not at all like interesting to watch. There is one exception that I would like to do together. Just one exception that isn't extremely boring and tedious, that is actually unique and interesting. And you should know what that is at this point. Like, it's fairly obvious which one I am referring to. Because it is the most unique of any of the upgrade processes. There's still issues here somewhere. Hello, you were at 0. You were not producing a thing. Like, what? Where's your lights? Lights? Alright, so they got some fluid ingredient storages issues here. Fill her up. Fill up the tanks. Fill her up. Okay. I think that will be enough to recover this. You. There. Let's not forget. Let us not forget. Oh, you do use lamps by default. You are the lamp recipe. A lamp recipe. So this build is eating lamps. Well, in that case, then I am inclined to actually upgrade this stream. Recover? Recovered! We hath recovered. We blipped out there for a second. We blipped. Don't know why we blipped, but we blipped. So as I was saying, yeah, because the basic recipe that I'm doing currently does require lamps, I am inclined to upgrade the recipe because the upgraded recipe uses fewer lamps. I will definitely trade essentially a lamp and a half for 5+ fertilizer. I will make that trade. In actuality, that is a trade that I would make. So yes, we will do that. And the really cheeky part here is that we can then also spend a little bit of the kickalc for the biomass for the kickalc. Because the ratio also changes on this. It's no longer a 1-to-1 for the seeds, or 1-to-2, 2-to-1, however you want to say it. We don't need to make as many seeds as our intended net output, or as many extra kickalc as our intended net output to cycle back into seeds with this recipe. Yeah. Oh yeah, and then this is also biomass, right? Yes, that's also biomass. So we spend less than a quarter of a kickalc to get 2 of our ingredients to make more kickalc. Yeah. Just add ash and fertilizer into the system and then eventually upgrade the system. I think I'm doing this one, ash, biomass, urea, seaweed, and I'm making like 15 at least fertilizer off of it. Yeah, I'm doing this recipe here for at least 15. Of course, I would upgrade this output. I would have more than just this one build for it. But anyway, enough digression. I'm looking at Cermit. And I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 items. 8 items input. Of which all of them are solids. Whoops, that wasn't the one I wanted. That one. That's the one I wanted. It's important to have these discussions, but still, it's taking time away from my intended goals. We has an Ollie. He has brought Dolly's baby. He has brought Dolly's baby. You know, someone ended up hiding Dolly's baby, and unfortunately, the process of finding Dolly's baby the other day ended up resulting in breakage of a very important item in the kitchen. Did he feed and water the baby? Well, not watered. Not water. He doesn't usually water these or feed these. He waters and feeds the mousies and the blue insect. Yeah, ended up breaking a glass item in the dining area next to the kitchen. So one of my inclinations to check, one of the places that I usually check for their toys as they get lost, is underneath the oven in the kitchen. And in order to check and fish out the items under the oven, I use a yardstick. We have a yardstick. And unfortunately, when I went to make my way to grab the yardstick to pull stuff out from under the oven, my foot got caught on a rather large glass cake serving tray and broke the serving tray. That was a wedding gift for my mother's wedding. So, oops. The top didn't break, but the actual serving platter, it broke. And then when I fished out the toys from under the thing, this was not among them. The only stuff that was under the oven was one of his small balls, and it's probably already back under there. I haven't actually seen it. Ahem. So yeah, all that for Kitty. It's like, great, I use this tray. I've used that tray, that serving platter, for its intended purpose. That's like the cake tray I use to serve my homemade cakes. And we do not have another one. Just one of those raised platform glass cake servers with the lid that goes over the top of it. I actually broke two things. I broke that, and then like a couple days later, I ended up breaking a nice bowl, cereal bowl. That I can't even blame that on the cats. That was just me. Early morning. We had these nice ceramic bowls. I was using it for cereal in the morning, because why have it if you're not going to use it? And yeah, I grabbed it early morning. I grabbed it to wash it. With my left hand. I grabbed it, put my fingers in the thing. This is not the bowl. This is a very cheap bowl that I'm using now, a lobster bowl. I put my fingers in like this on the holder, and on the left hand, and I went with my right hand to grab my coffee cup, and I let go with my left hand as I grabbed with my right, and it just slipped out of my fingers and hit the ground, hit the carpet, and broke into like 4 or 5 big chunks. So yeah, that's been like my weekend. Breaking 2 items that are not necessarily cheap. Anyway, stuff. We're making Cermit. It is happening. It's happening slowly, but it is happening. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of these. Yeah, we're gonna do 2x12. There's no chance I'm doing a full line of 24 of these. I do not need the oxygen. For the record, we do have like 3 more of those bowls. Just to be clear, I didn't end up breaking something that is exactly like one of a kind on the cereal bowls. There are 3 more because, of course, my mother bought them as a set of 4, or she got 4 of them. Because let's have 4 of everything, and just ignore the fact that we've got like multiple sets of 4 of lots of like everything. Like, why do you need all these things? Why do you need so many dishes, so many bowls, so many lunch plates, so many dinner plates, so many salad plates, so many dessert plates, so many like side plates? Like, why do we need all these things? And then you wonder why we have no room for all the extra things that you keep buying. Anyway, what am I doing? Stuff. Things. This. Is this the logical next step? The logical next step is this. Because this eats up the hydrogen and the carbon dioxide that we've just made. Okay. You need a solid input as well. That'll be that. You have your belt lines already. You need an input belt that I haven't placed yet. Okay, next. Next will be this. This is a new FTS reactor. Hey, how many times have I used the FTS reactor thus far? Because this is a new building sprite for the FTS reactor. This did not look like this before. Huh. Surprised I'm doing the one that outputs glycerol. Alright, gas vent and sinkhole. water. Yes, 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 closed loop water system. I don't care. I'm not gonna cool the steam. I'm not gonna cool the steam down to water again and reuse the water. That's not gonna happen. I refuse to do this thing. Yes, I have been burned by issues in the past. I do not want to have even the remote chance of issues going forward. Even though, yes, it works fine. It should theoretically always work fine. In my experience, things can happen with the game that will make it not work fine. And therefore, I will not ever do that thing again. My very first playthrough of Planetons, this was a very real issue. I was good little boy. I set up closed loop systems for water everywhere that I could do so. I don't think that's what's happening with the power generation. What's happening with the power generation is that insufficiencies on the amount of fluid that is in the system are appearing as I am consuming more power. So the closer I get to the max on the power, the bigger the strain is going to be on the throughput of the pipes and the more fluid I need within those pipes. So any situation where I don't have enough fluid to maintain a constant flow, all of those factories are going to have bottlenecks until I provide it enough fluid to have a constant flow. Just because a certain amount of volume of fluid works at lower threshold values doesn't mean that it'll work across the entire spectrum. I don't see that as being the problem with this closed system. It would be a problem. It would most definitely be a problem if that issue were to reoccur from the past. So what had happened was there was a base game bug that got introduced during version 17 experimental. See, now it's this one that's having some issues again. Where when the game was updated, or there was an update, all pipe contents would be deleted from the face of existence. Just removed. All pipe contents gone. So this wouldn't really have any impact in places where you are producing a fluid or consuming a fluid consistently production consumption, but it sure as heck affected closed loop systems by completely removing the water from water pipes and steam from steam pipes. You know, that was a thing. That did happen, and that was a vanilla bug. That was eventually fixed, but I learned then never rely on the closed water loop system. Which is why I shouldn't rely on the closed molten salt system up there for power. Ollie, you gotta get down. Even though I am. What I should do is put a underflow valve. I should put an underflow valve on all of these. Whoops. It's fine. I should have this everywhere, and I can't do it there on anything that has those pipes in the way. I should do that so that they will never run out. They will always have enough, guaranteed. The problem with that is filling that many tanks to 80% plus having all the stuff in the pipe systems. Yeah, that takes a while when you are literally making 10 units per second of the molten salt. All right, that is the lube. If I was a smart person, I would put this lube onto the train network and have a separate factory, but no, we don't do that around here. We're making this local, and that is that. Next, crude Cermit from 3 inputs. Each one of these buildings, yeah, the long-headed inserters can work just fine. Okay, add ash as well. I think I need to move this down a tile. At least down a tile, if not more. Because I don't think I need more than 7.5 ash per second in total along this line. So I will need 2 lines. I don't like trusting this, but I'll do it. The blue inserters can absolutely do the throughput that I need. I just don't like it. I just don't like it. And the mechanical inserters can only do 1.2, not 1.25. Remember, they were 0.6 and now they're 1.2 with the +1 to their stack size. So that is that. As they say. I shouldn't. I should never be unstacking at the trains in any factory that I think is going to eventually be scaled. Just so as we're clear on that. I've had this problem already on factories that I scaled where I've unstacked at the train station when I shouldn't be unstacking at the train station. I should be unstacking on the actual factory lines. All right, next up is nichrome plus lard. Now, both of these are stacked. Now, take what I just said and throw it partly out the window. In cases where I am, in fact, sharing belts, I am going to keep on unstacking here. Because this is reducing the... that is not even what needs to go there. What needs to go there is that line. I just ignored the fact that, hey, I need the neck slit. Oops. Neck slit does need to be unstacked, and I will do this properly over here. But yeah, lard and nichrome. Nichrome in particular, I'm okay with unstacking local. Lard should be up there, but in this case, I'm trying to save a belt rather than have two belts go up and then share at the destination. I don't see a problem with doing that in this particular instance. So, doing this will get me most of the way through. Next up, okay, bring on the ash, and then these three items. On the outside lane, I want the molly. Now, again, 1.8. I shouldn't do this, but doing it anyway. Oh boy, that is my alarm to indicate that I am, in fact, halfway through this stream already. That's annoying. Cermit? No, ceramic. Nickel ore. And molybdenum ore. Is ceramic stacked? I think so. Regardless, that is this factory done. Click on you. It is stacked. Okay, I now know. And because of that, now I can go get the train set up for the Cermit. The Cermit, can I stack it at this point in time? I can. And I will. And that, as they say, is that. That is, in fact, that. What is missing here? Did I seriously not stack? So, as it turns out, nichrome isn't stacked. Game is chugging. So yeah, nichrome isn't stacked. That's news to me. Where's stacked nichrome? In this inventory. Scroll, 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 scrolling up. There you are. Yeah, how am I gonna unstack this now? Oops. Box? Go gadget unstack? That should work. Maybe. So with a box positioned here, this bulk rail unloader will not unload into the chest. If I have a chest on the edges in these four corners, it will load into the chests automatically. Just so as we are aware of this behavior. Now, of course, I can just do that and do that and just try to get all of it processed as quickly as possible. How are we doing? 12, 8, 4, and 0. And 0. Okay. Time for me to take a break. I will be back in just a few minutes to start building our 49 train station Circuit 2 factory. Be back shortly. And I have returned. Welcome back. I've also got Ollie just showing up, jumping up. He's over here. We can see footsies. Hi. He wants to lap, I think. He wants to be in the lap. Are you gonna go to the window, big boy? You can sort of see there's tail. There's Ollie's tail flicking. Da 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 ba 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 ba. Okay. Just getting myself reorganized on my other screen. We have Cermit. Cermit should now exist. Okay, it should now exist. We're now faced with a, I will say the biggest project that we have done to date here in this playthrough. Our next project is the actual production of Circuit 2s. Oh boy, as Cermit gets moving. Glorious Summit, it is moving. We has the stuffs and the things. They are doing their job and everything is glorious here. I am going to restock in my mall area. I will restock and decide where in the freaking hell I'm going to build this. This huge factory. This gigantic, awesome factory. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to need to put in requests for... Oh, good. I have a few requester stops, and I have sort of just enough train requester lights. You know what? Let's make sure that I have a few more of those. Yeah, I never really need more than the 10 supply stops. What about pumps? I need more pumps on a regular basis. So put in a request for all of the pumps. I don't know if this will be the biggest outside the mall. There are going to be some others that will be massive as well. It really depends on how much I make outside of this. I think for this phase of the game, this could be the biggest, but it's also not going to be permanently this large. Because I have every intention, once I get a little bit further, to make a number of things that I'm making locally in this factory. I'm going to distribute them into separate factories. So basically all of the capacitors, resistors, and stuff, those are all going to be in separate factories and not part of the ultimate final Circuit 2 setup. You think things will get easier after this? Things will get easier when I get chemical science. Things will ease after chemical science. This is perhaps the biggest build leading into chemical science, considering that the final stuffs I will need will end up being nuclear samples. Yeah, because like getting Circuit 2s right now is not really progression exactly. It's a step of progression, but it doesn't necessarily open that many new doors to me. Not yet. Certainly I'll have access to red belts. I'll have reds. Access to reds at that point, in particular the splitters. I could actually just make red belts now. I could make red belt and red undergrounds now, but I can't do the splitters, and that's rather important. So with circuit 2s, I can do reds for that stuff. I can't even do stack inserters yet because I haven't made electric engine units, even though I can do so now. I can make electric engine units now. So once I get circuit 2s, I would then have to make electric engine units, and then this chromium molybdenum nickel special alloy, and that could unlock stack inserters. I think I'm just not going to stack inserter because that's rather expensive to stack inserter. I'm not thinking about doing that right now or ever. I don't think it'll be strictly necessary. That being said, getting the self-assembly monolayer material is the step after the circuit 2s that we'll be going for, but bearing in mind I need circuit 2s to make that stuff because I will need novins to make that stuff, and I need circuit 2s to make initial novins and the novin culture. The sigh. I will need electronics factories. I won't want all of them. I will also be needing that. I will want chip shooters on hand, a chip shooter on hand. I will need PCB factories on hand, a PCB factory. Want to make sure I have pulp mill on hand. I do. There's Kitty. Hi. Hi, Ollie. Settling. Licking. Yep, grooming. Do I have a request for GPUs? There, GPUs, go, give all. Fill me up. Request for flotation. Mixers. I should just be like, hey, just give me literally all of the things all of the time. I don't have jigs, BTW, or grease tables. Those are circuit 2 items. Oh yeah, circuit 2s should unlock the ability for me to build jigs, which sort of unlocks a few more advanced ore processing setups that I currently have access to only if I have that building. So that's the thing. That is most definitely a thing. I'm not going to request bioprinters. You can't make me. I won't do it. That's what I'll have for now. I don't need scrubbers, wet scrubbers, or leaching stations, I think. Nah. I do have a request for bioreactors. Where is it? That's the other problem here. Is the where is it question. I have 100. That'll be fine. That will be okay. And I should have enough of everything at this point that I can go and figure out where I'm going to do this. So really, it's not necessarily so much about Well, I need to have 2 locations, and I need to make sure that of those locations that I'm not going to get rid of resources that I need. Like this square, there's a gigantic quartz patch here. I absolutely must use this quartz patch for glass. A glass product, a molten glass based product, if not molten glass itself. Fundamentally, absolutely required, because I do not have that many quartz patches in the base currently. So that must be mine. I cannot build this factory with this square. This square has uranium ore nodes that I would like to tap eventually. So I think... Gosh, I don't like getting rid of the sulfur either, but... If I look closer... these two. Yeah, I like these two. These two. Yeah, it's some geothermal water and regolites, but oh well. Goodbye. Now, the other part of this, since I have established that I will not be able to fit 49 within the bounds of a square, and because this build is going to be massive, shall we say, just to throw out there the concept that this build is in fact going to be rather large. My thought is to split this up this way, and I'm gonna keep this here. It's just going to spill over both sections, and we're going to start down here, finish up here, and the supply station will be up here, and all of the requester stations are going to be down in these other 3-ish. I think that's what I'll end up doing. So let's get building. Let's get building. We start, quote unquote, at the head of the build, or at the... We start at the simplest, the like initial production of the back end things. Actually, it's technically the tail. Start at the tail and work our way up to the final production. So circuit 2 is up here and then down. And I have to attempt to do this in a semi-logical way, but I think it's just going to end up being a mess no matter what. In the meanwhile, this entire time, using up my performance has been a significant number of construction bots working. And, you know, having all of these logistics robots doesn't help with my performance. By the way, I'm pretty sure that the construction bots are either the number 1 or the number 2 thing that are consuming my system resources right now. Entities should be number 1, but of that, entities, a large part of that is robots, currently active robots. And when we have thousands, 3,127 active logistics robots and over 1,400 active construction robots, yeah, it's a bit much. It's a bit much when we have this many entities across the base. Yes, big boy. We can barely see the big boy now. There's sort of the face peeking. We can see an ear. And we can see this baby. Hello, my dolly. Hello, doll. Yeah, the pretty dolly. It's a pretty dolly there. Definitely looking forward to faster robots through tech upgrades and through, just better bots that will help drastically. Where are we going to begin is a wonderful question. Where to start with something that's going to take 49 stations? Like, how do we even grasp this concept? Well, realistically, at the very bottom of this build should be production of any fluids. So any fluids should happen first, because it is significantly easier to move fluids over a distance than it is to run belts in terms of entity count. So right now, of the game update stuff, it should be entities as number one. Like, that's not up for debate. Entities is 15 and a half-ish of the update cycle. But the total update cycle is 22, 23. What else is consuming a significant amount? Well, we've got 2 on the electric network somehow. We've also got 2 from trains because, yeah, we have a few trains. But not really from the Pathfinder, which is interesting. So the trains is just the fact that they are entities that exist. Ah, boy. And then script updates tiny at the moment, but that spikes on occasion. Where do bots happen in this list? So that's the problem, is that robots are not separated on this list. They are not part of Logistics Manager. Logistics Manager is belts. Belt logic. This is more like initiating requests for the robots, not really the existence of the robots. All robots exist within Entity Update. And I know for a fact that robots consume a significant amount of performance just by existing in the Entity Update phase. I could improve my performance by removing multiple robots. I can also improve performance by not having as many trains, cough cough, which will happen soon-ish, or at least having the trains not be as active, which happens by the trains becoming faster. And, I'll have fewer bots when the bots move faster. There'll be fewer active robots, and that will improve performance. I don't know about how I'm going to be able to reduce the electric network update process. That would need to involve fewer energy producing buildings, which I guess there technically is going to be about the same, like no matter what, if not more. It's not going to happen while I'm eating up coal at any point, because I'm just going to be using what I have to make more power, not really reducing the stuffs there, the number of stuffs there, volumes of buildings. Hello, welcome. Glad that someone enjoys the Factorio, the incredibly complex Pyanodons mods Factorio. Trying to think about, I've been thinking lately about what might come after Pyanodons mods, after this particular playthrough, because it will eventually end. I do not know. Because there are certain things that I will not play. There are certain mods that I will not play. Space exploration being one of them. The other one being Industrial Revolution. I will not be doing either of those at any point. But I'm also just not... I'm not gonna restart another Pyanodons playthrough when I finish this one. We're gonna need to have a... just a bit of a gap in between Pyanodons playthroughs. I really don't think we can just permanently be playing Pyanodons mods for until the end of time. Bobs and Angels, I don't know. I don't know how much has changed since the last time I played Bob's Angels. I know that there has been significant change reflected in C Block since the last time that I played C Block. Yeah, there is a 0% chance that I will ever play anything that has to do with Industrial Revolution. That is not going to happen. It essentially may as well not exist. Really? Still? Still. Okay, you. Are you... Have I done something here that's... No, I don't think so. Yeah, I think I just need to go like across the board on all of the tanks and top things up everywhere. Because I'm basically just playing whack-a-mole at this point with all these. Yeah, why? There's 11,000 units of molten salt in here, and yet it's still taking its sweet time to convert it into the hot molten salt for these to go. Okay, there we go. Finally. I was thinking about Nullius. I was thinking about it. Just because I know that the last time I tried it, it was obviously not done. And very much a work in progress. It showed. So it needs to be in a significantly better state for me to consider it again. The power is still dipping. Yeah, that's just whack-a-mole. I'm not gonna look anymore at it. I am done. I'm going to start building things down here at the very bottom. And yeah, I will also not ever do space exploration, aka space block. That's also not going to happen until such time as every single FU mechanic has been removed or has the ability to be removed. Yeah, it's not happening. No, hard pass, not happening. I will not play with any mechanic that destroys my stuff that I've built under any circumstance whatsoever. I do not care if there are mitigations. I will not have it happen at all in the first place for any reason. As I literally just said, I don't give a shit if there are ways that we can mitigate things like the meteors. I will not have meteors, period. At any point in the game. Just not going to happen. Nor will I play with robot attrition. That is not going to happen. I will not have that mod at all installed in the game. Ever. And I also do not like that space exploration has a awful design in that the mod author has used the mod God, what the frick are they called? The incompatibilities. Has used incompatibilities to disallow the mods that they think they should not be, that the mod set should not be played with. Mods that are, in fact, compatible, but do not meet the mod author's, sense of balance for their mod. And uses mod incompatibilities on the, on space exploration to try to prevent people from playing with mods that they do not want them to play with, even though they are perfectly compatible with the game. It is a complete and utter misuse of that incompatibilities section. I do not agree with it, and I just on that alone would choose not to ever play with those mods. Okay, I need to unstack that stuff, and that needs water. And this is going to overproduce on the oxygen, so I need to make sure that I overflow void it, and I will need oxygen going forward. Up here at the formaldehyde, which will also get made first, among the first things. We still have absolutely no idea what they're doing for the expansion. By the way, for Factorio, like they've not released any info about it, which is just the stupidest thing ever. And yet they increased the price of the game. Like, what? Huh? Huh? Okay. I have generally found Omni to be tedious rather than engaging in any aspect. Yeah, just the idea that, I mean, it's an interesting concept where you have this like one ore type that you mine and then convert through various processes that into everything else. It's interesting in concept, but the early game effing blows. And when there are like big red warnings about how slow it is at the beginning, it's like, no, this is not going to make engaging content. Not in the slightest. All right, next. Where's the boric acid? Boric acid is next. You. Now, I haven't looked at Omni in literal years, so I don't know what's been changed with it since its inception, or since the last time I looked at it. What next? What next? We've got that. Got those. Next is you. I'm unlikely to scale local. Yeah, I think I'm gonna end up like just living with my inputs, or just living with my production off of this factory. I'll be building out these requester stations pretty piecemeal as we go along, as we need things. Likely mixing fluids and solids as I need them. Now, building this low down, this is probably going to be the bigger requester station, or biggest requester station of all of them. But we shall see. So that's that. The next one is going to be the compost plant. I am going to need Kickalk for other stuff. So just to keep it in mind. Oh, and I'm requesting urea. Did I unstack it here? I did not. I will need to unstack it somewhere. But we've got a long time before we'll have to worry about what comes after Pyandons. We've still got several hundred hours of playtime left, and many more streams of this. Several more months of this to go on this particular series. And frankly, I'm not sure if I will do another Factorio series immediately after this one. I'm definitely the next time I do Factorio will not be another Pyandons playthrough, not immediately after finishing this one. But I might play a different factory management game after this. It all depends on what's available and what's been updated. Yeah, I'm most likely going to end up with C2s afterwards. Why did I do this here when I was working on fluids? Like, why did I do this here? I'm just going to cut this. It'll be very soon, but I'm just going to cut it there. This is one of the more back-end items. It's just, I don't think it's absolutely necessary at this moment in time. When does it get used? All the way up at Bakelite. Okay, that might be a little bit then. I find it awkward that you would actually suggest Stellaris as factory management when Stellaris has absolutely nothing to do with factory management. Okay. Surviving Mars, yes, I have Surviving Mars. The issue about that is I feel weird on Surviving Mars because I don't own like all of the DLC for it. So it feels a little weird to not have all of the DLC if I'm going to showcase a game. And Dyson Sphere. So, Dyson Sphere. I have been tempted to go back. I actually did a playthrough on my own time relatively recently. I was thinking about streaming it, and then I look at my analytics at Dyson Sphere Program and basically just cry. Literally no one watches Dyson Sphere, so that might not happen. Ever. Like, actually no one watches it, so... that can be done where I need it. So can the boiling. The next thing I need is formaldehyde. Since that's what's eating the oxygen, it can keep this pipe small. We've got our next couple of inputs now. We need methane and molybdenum ore. What I will also say about Dyson Sphere Program is that I truly believe that the developers are mishandling their time with the development. By having a decision that they're going to add enemies into the game. Like, no, you don't need them. You never needed them. They are not going to add to the experience in a significant way. I know that I am never going to play with enemies enabled in Dyson Sphere Program, and I know other creators who have literally said the same, that they will not generally play with enemies in Dyson Sphere Program. And yet it is taking a significant amount of their development time. And then Satisfactory, I will not play until 1.0, at bare minimum. I need a completed game before I play it again. Like, it is not worth playing in its current state. Like, apparently they just don't want to have the story as part of the game until it releases, to which I say, excuse me, but the point of early access is to, like, bug test, right? You're trying to tell me that your story isn't going to have any bugs in it until one point, until, like, when it launches. You're telling me that there'll be no problems whatsoever. I don't believe you. That is not going to happen. I need to unstack the moly ore. And that is that done. More fluids, this one, with the Yotoi aloe fruit. And the blueprint system, by the way, is that they added in Satisfactory is frankly insulting. It may as well just not exist. Shocking waste of time for them to develop it the way that they did. Proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that they absolutely do not care about what the player base actually wants in that game. Anyway, what are we bringing in here? Yotoi, aloe, fruit. Bring on the fruit. Fruity tooty. Okay. Oh, and I suppose I didn't really actually mention, as I was asked if I ever tried Stellaris. I didn't actually answer if I had. I own Stellaris. I've played it in the past. I fundamentally hate Paradox as a company and would not want to have content of their games. Same-ish applies. They are publisher for Surviving Mars. I do not agree with their practices with DLC. And the straw that broke the camel's back on that front was, in fact, what they did with Stellaris, by literally ripping mechanics from the game. I utterly disagree with their decision, like fundamentally disagree with their decision to literally remove from the game entire modes of gameplay for the sake of balance. Ooh. Like, they literally pulled out methods of faster-than-light travel that existed in the game and forced everyone to use one type. Because balance. Because they designed themselves into a corner. That's not my problem as the player, that you designed yourself into a corner. And yet, I'm the one that you are punishing with your decisions. I particularly enjoyed the black hole generator method of faster than light travel in Stellaris. I particularly liked that gameplay style. And they removed it from the game. It's like, alright, well, F you then. I will not be playing your games anymore. Alright, what next? Get me out of this. What shall be next? Now, fluids. Fluids are always next. More fluids. We have lots of fluids. We need more. MOAR. More. Are you stacked? No. Okay. Next fluid is you. That is on my list. That will involve needing a solid fuel. And it was going to be coke. Alright, bring on the guts, bring on the coke, and all that good crap. Alright, this is coke line. I need that. I need this. This is guts. Guts are stacked, but I will unstack them at the station. And then a moment to go back to Dyson Sphere. Issues with Dyson Sphere. In my most recent playthrough of Dyson Sphere that I did on my own time, I very much hit a performance wall with it, which ties back into why I don't like that they have been spending so much time working on the enemy system. So the whole point of the game is building Dyson Spheres, right? And they have a system of shells for your Dyson Sphere. You can build up to, I think it's 10 shells to a Dyson Sphere around a star. Every star on the map, by the way. You can do this too. Yeah, there are designs out there that are like super like heavy on individual nodes that just having one shell of them sort of tanks game performance, let alone having 10 shells. I think even on the like most efficient like performance-wise designs for Dyson Sphere shells, it's still going to cause problems when you have 10 around a star. And it doesn't only impact that system performance, it impacts the performance of the entire game. Even if you try hiding like the actual graphical elements of this, it's still doing calculations just by having it. And it's extremely bad. It's extremely bad. It performs supremely poorly. It needs a lot of optimization. And I wish that the developers were spending their time optimizing the game rather than adding enemies when it is in absolute need of optimization. Extreme optimization. Okay. We've gotten this far. Whilst ranting and raving. What's next? What's the next fluid? As I did need chlorine as chlorine, even though I'm literally going to be bringing in hydrogen chloride. Our next fluid, I think, is the acetic acid. I am pretty sure our next fluid is this acetic acid right here. Oh boy, wouldn't you know it? Yeah, that's a slight issue. Oh, Hellmod. Matrix Solver being Hellmod Matrix Solver. I think that you suck. But I understand what you've done in this particular situation. Making acetic acid requires carbon dioxide. What's happened here is that Hellmod has not told me that I need to produce carbon dioxide because I am producing carbon dioxide through the lime production up above. because it makes more carbon dioxide than I need for the acetic acid in this build. And that's okay. The issue is that I genuinely do not actually want to use the CO2 from that particular process. I don't actually want to use it. So this build has to happen after CO2, which adds a bit to the amount of stuff I need from you. So you're first, because this is actually part of making a fluid. I will need a high pressure furnace, if I can figure out in my list where these buildings live. High pressure furnace, you should be around the top. Here, hello. You are making CO2 through biomass. Yeah, you're gonna make enough. This makes a lot, by the way. If this is 0.03 of a building to make 2 biomass per second, oh boy, is that a lot of biomass. Like, oh boy, that is a lot that it can make in an individual building. To the point where I would say, prepare for nuffs. Prepare your butts. This has been pointed out, and I'm using it. Therefore, it's probably gonna get nerfed. But we shall see. So that's that. And that is that, but it's not part of my marking. Now we can do this. And I can bring in methanol, and I will need chromium. Chromium is our next solid. So we need a solid input station and a fluid input station. Whoops, that was off to the side there. Where is methanol? It's in this tab. Really? Lower, okay. All right, well that is acetic acid. There, that is done. Okay, what is next as an initial, like, easy process? part of the back end that I need to do here. So apparently I need pure sand for something. I need... lime. I need 2 powder quartz. I need lignin. I need phenol. What do I need for pulp 1? I think our next steps here are to get into the pulp 2, excuse me. Yeah, antimony pulp 2. That's next. So the rest of this is antimony processing. For that, I'm going to need to set up the Dow froth. So that will be first. Dow froth will be first, as well as lead acetate. So let's get started. Here's this FB reactor. This one takes in the chlorine and the ethylene that we've made, as well as some water. To make ethylene chlorohydrin. It also takes in silver, so I will need to add silver as an input. I will need to get this and do this and do this. Where is that chlorine pipe? Oh, I was correct. I was like, it's around here. It's right there. It's right there. Chlorine line. Got it in one. Glorious. Next is you. Need to do that. Oopsies. Alright, I'll move you to the side. Right, that terminates there. Always missing. Da 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 da. There we go. So that's all but silver. Let's add silver. I forget if I've stacked silver. Where's my silver? Silver was here. Have I stacked you? I have not. Okay. Alright, that is that step. Then we have to actually take more of our ethylene and add the ethylene chlorohydrin with water to make our chloroethanol in the next step. Oh, do I not have this building? Oh, it's a wet scrubber. Didn't I literally say, oh, hey, we totally don't need wet scrubbers? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We do. Yes, it is. It is required. Hi. Yeah, we need one here. Pff, dang it. Am I even making these? I don't even know. Hold on, I need to stock up on these. Oh, and regular scrubbers too, apparently. So yeah, let's make sure I've grabbed all the things. Anyway, other topics, other random crap we could talk about while building this. The embargoes on Kerbal Space Program 2 have dropped. They dropped yesterday, I think. People who went out to an event got to play around with Kerbal Space Program 2 and were able to record content of it, make their commentary on it, and I've watched some of it so far, and it is about as I expected. It is about as I expected, which is tempered expectations about what it would be. It is going to release in early access Friday with only the sandbox mode. It will not have science mode. It will not have career mode at launch on Friday. It will only be sandbox mode. So that's part one. So all of the parts that are available will be immediately unlocked when you start the save, and you can build whatever you want right off the bat, and you'll have like access to as many Kerbals as you need. Right? You can just create as many as you need and go with it. And you only have access to the Kerbal system, which is exactly like the first game. Everything in the first game that's in the system has been rebuilt and looks amazing. It looks absolutely fantastic. The vehicle assembly building is absolutely fantastic in its redesign, and it works phenomenally well for building your spaceships and for building planes. It's missing like progression modes. It's just missing progression right now. Otherwise, I would say it's just KSP1. Also, no official mod support at initial release, which is a little bit sad. And their focus for initial mod support is going to be for part makers, those who want to add parts to the game, which makes sense. Also like that you can actually recolor your ships now on demand, on the fly. Like all the parts have been designed with like a main and an accent color that you can change. Yeah, I know. I much prefer progression. Which is why on Friday we're going to play around, we're going to learn and explore the game with whatever changes to the mechanics have been made. Just learning to play it, how to play it, and getting used to the differences. But I would like to, if I continue playing it, I would like to make my own progression, like my own science mode on it, like establish a set of rules to limit the parts that I have available to me, and have certain achievements that we need to do with that limited array of parts before being able to unlock a larger array of parts, which is, science mode, which is science mode in the original game. And for the record, science mode is the very first item on the roadmap. It is like item 1 on the roadmap is science mode. So it's not like we need to do it for very long. It's just who knows how long it's going to take before they really get to the items on their roadmap. It could be out in 1 week. It could be out 2 days later. Who knows? It could be out 2 months later. Like it all depends, right? Like there's nothing indicating exact timing. Of course, nowhere in my base am I actually producing wet scrubbers. So we'll do the launch stream on Friday, pretty sure at this point. At bare minimum. We'll be playing sandbox mode, no limits there, just learning the game, exploring, looking around, finding all the new stuff that they've done, looking at all the new textures on the planets and new features and stuff on the various planets. And moons and other bodies about the place. Where am I looking? I need you to get made. Please. I need you made, like, immediately. Have some small parts. Do you have regular pipe? No, you use... Of course, you use not iron pipes. Who uses iron pipes around here? Not a single thingy around here. There you are. Hi. Thank you. Now we just have to wait for the bots. I need 1 ret scrubber, and yet don't have any. So yeah, we'll see how the game also performs, right? On Friday. How it performs while streaming. Oh god, that is going to be a pretty big, like, question mark going into it. Is how exactly is the game going to perform, given the initial set of system requirements. My graphics card slightly exceeds minimum. It slightly exceeds the minimum requirement. My system memory greatly exceeds. My CPU should be exceeding. I've got the whatever Ryzen series. I never remember the exact names of these things. Ryzen... What? 7. Ryzen 7 5800X. Not the 3D Vcache version. The not 3D Vcache, because I bought this before that released. Slightly before that released. Like, literal weeks. Anyway. Yeah, my Ryzen 7 5800X should be fine. Should be, anyway. It is not the thing that is at the top of my list for replacement, but it'll be a very long time before I can actually get the thing that is at the top of my list for replacement. Which, yeah, is the GPU. GPU is top of list. 1080 Ti, starting to get a little old. Still working great, but getting a little old. Especially if they're going to be games that I actually want to play for 1,000 hours or more that sort of require a better graphics card. That's sort of like the clue, right? That's the sign of, oh hey, it's time, is when there is a game that you actually want to play a significant amount of that barely runs on the hardware that you have. it would just be utter hell trying to get something better than what I have, frankly. I'd have to like look up and see like what would be my minimum that I would want for a graphics card. Like what would be the like cheapest option that would represent a significant upgrade. A significant enough upgrade to warrant the cost. Like, frankly, the answer thus far has been nothing. Hey, thank you so much for super chat. A crumb closer, yes, a slight crumb closer. Thank you so much. We'll see if Streamlabs is awake. Hey, Streamlabs, are you awake? Streamlabs? Are you functional? Are you going to say hello? Streamlabs not be functional.
A crumb closer
there it is.
To your GPU. Cheers.
Thank you so much for that. Ever so slight crumb. We need about I don't know, another 100 of those, shall we say? Yeah, another 100 of those will get me pretty close. Bearing in mind, I see 70% of super chats. So yep, that $10 super chat, I'll see 7 of that. Thereabouts. So yeah, another 99 of those. Another 99 of those, I'll have enough to consider graphics card, an actual good graphics card, about that $700 range plus. And of course, I've had this discussion in the recent streams as well. Just, you know, if I'm going to do a graphics update, I would want to add a dedicated card for video encoding. So there's that too to consider, and of course that's not cheap either. But yeah, kitty, thanks you. Yes, both the kitties. Both of the kitties. We got both of them here. There are 2 cats. Okay. Well, that part's done. I now need pure sand. Okay, pure sand. Let us get that. May as well use my normal pure sand. That is regular sand, not pure sand. Where is my pure sand? Pure sand! I know I've made you in many locations. Ah, there you are. Hello, pure sand. Why, hello, my pure sand. My purest. The purest of, excuse me. The purest of pure. I only need the one line, so I'm not going to build it like flipped the other way for this purpose. Just because I only need the output of one of these buildings. Okay, next is scrolling. scrolling. You. I will import slaked lime. Because, actually, I have slaked lime on my train network. Shocking, I know. But when I set up my increased production between streams of acetylene, I overflowed the slaked lime onto the network. So one of these trains, yes, one of these trains is slaked lime. Yeah. I totally did the thing with the acetylene build. Since I've made a little bit of the acetylene, it makes it makes 750 times 2. It makes a bit of acetylene. Yeah, it's 750 times 2 on the acetylene, and that ends up being enough slaked lime for this purpose, and is the reason I did slaked lime. I put the slaked lime. It was for this specific thing right here. To be able to have slaked lime for the ethylene chlorohydrin production into ethylene glycol. Name our slaked lime at C2. Alright, so that is that done. Next is this mixer for Dow froth, which, as it turns out, uses more methanol. So it's a good thing we've already brought methanol in, right? It's a good thing that's already been brought in. Ta-da! Why am I using the wrong powers? Low power. Use the proper poles. Ah yes, and chromium. Another thing that I actually already have here. There you go. There's the Dow froth. Now that I have Dow froth here, it is time for the lead acetate. Which is the other, like, outside input that we need to make for this processing chain, main one. This needs acetic acid, which of course we've made local, and it needs an import on lead and hydrogen peroxide. Because of course it is lead acetate. Oh boy, I am looking at the time. This will probably be the last thing that we do. Because we have actually ended up over time on today's stream. I have just been going and going and going. We've been talking. Progress has been made. What now? Oh. No, not that one. That one. Ta-da! Ethylene glycol. So we need the lead, and I need the acetic acid. Where is the acetic acid? Oh boy, here is the acetic acid. It's going up, and there. And you are going here, and up. You are going over here. This is lead. Up we go. It's already left my mind. It is H2O2. It's hydrogen peroxide at C2s. Off you go, and down and over, and you connect there. Okay. Another major hydrogen peroxide use. But that should cover it, and that should be the lead acetate getting produced. And we have Dow froth. Dow froth exists. Major issue 1 done. Major issue 2 done with lead acetate. That covers a huge chunk of what we need here. Oh boy. We're on our way. We're on our merry little way here. My goodness, this is definitely the beginnings of a major factory. When we next meet, I will be setting up these 4 steps of antimony processing. You know what? I'll probably do these 4 steps between streams because we've seen these 4 steps. I've done these 4 steps before. This is essentially just a copy and paste. When we come back, I will set up the rest of the antimony processing up through pulp 2. So we'll set up the grade 4 plus lime. So I'll set up lime first. It'll be lime. Probably lime next. Probably lime next. And limestone next. We don't really need to see the lime and the limestone because I've done that a few times already. So between streams I'll do lime, limestone, and the 4 steps of the antimony on here. Then when we come back, I will do the crushed antimony into the grade 4 plus dust and cycle the grade 4 back. And then the dust with acetate and fish oil into pulp 1, and the pulp 1 with Dow froth and pressured air into pulp 2, and concentrate, which the concentrate I'm going to dump. I'm going to dump it for now. And once we have that, it's going to be the doped silicons, followed by the stuff to get into the PCB2s probably first, and then like the ferrite and the stuff to get into the various final ingredients into C2s. And ideally, we will end up with C2s by the end of next stream. Ideally. So with that, yeah, that's what we did today. We made Cermit, and we got part of the way through our Circuit 2 build. I would very much like to thank you all for watching. This has been Otaku Show. But if you have enjoyed today's stream, please be sure to do all of the social and engagement stuff down below the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you have not yet subscribed, and hit the notification bell. Consider becoming a member of the channel by hitting the great big blue join button and supporting on Patreon at patreon.com/otakushibut if you are so inclined and able. I will be back on Thursday to finish up this build, along with a special stream of KSB2 on Friday. I hope to see you all then.